All right, it is that time of the week again. Switch eShop deals, and this sale, it's massive. So today, I've got 15 games for you all, coming in under $10 or your regional equivalent, covering the US, UK, Canada, Europe, and Australia. So yeah, with this one, stick around for some seriously impressive discounts. I'll also then be announcing the winner later in the video from last week's $10 eShop gift card giveaway. And of course, there's one more to give away, as always. All you need to do to enter is drop a comment down below, and the winner will be announced next Thursday. Alright, just quickly then, if you do enjoy deal roundups like this, plus reviews, performance breakdowns, and just daily Switch content from a smaller channel, consider subscribing. It helps more than you know. Alright, let's get into it. The Swords of Ditto, Mormo's Curse, is 87% off a new low price, and this one really deserves more attention. It's a top-down action RPG in the style of classic Zelda, but with a roguelike structure layered on top. Now you here are a new hero each run, waking up to find a sword, and you're tasked with defeating the evil Mormo. This is all basically done against a timer. Now if you fail, the world falls into darkness and the cycle resets, but now with a new descendant picking up the mantle. The world is charming, it's packed with silly characters, dungeons are great fun, and gear upgrades really expand the experience. Now I will admit the combat is simple throughout, but it is just, if anything, fun. I love the art style as well. It's clean, very bold, extremely bright colours. And yeah, the whole thing kind of feels like a playable Saturday morning cartoon. So me, myself, yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. Trombone Champ is 60% off a new low price. And if you haven't played it, it's one of the most kind of absurd rhythm games on the system. Concept's easy. You're attempting to play the trombone with motion controls, sticks, or buttons. None of which are very precise, honestly, but that's almost kind of the point. The game leans into the chaos with off-key honks and wild gestures, making it all the funnier. There's also a surprisingly weird story tucked inside as well, with a campaign involving baboons and ancient musical prophecy. So yeah, definitely an unusual one. I do think though for most people, it's really just about the struggle to nail a melody. It's just so funny. The track list then is a mix of kind of classical pieces and almost comedy music, I guess. And while it's not a game you master in the traditional sense, it's one you will laugh through. Now my review is linked below if you want to see how I did. Doom is 80% off and Doom Eternal is 75% off, both matching their lowest price, and they're still some of the most impressive ports on the system. The 2016 reboot, it drops you on Mars with a shotgun and an attitude problem, basically. But yeah, it's going to send you tearing through demons with a perfect loop of movement, violence, and momentum. It's tight, it's responsive, it's incredibly satisfying. Doom Eternal evolves the formula. It takes the base and builds upon it. It turns it into something faster, more complex, even more demanding. You're constantly in this one juggling weapons, dodging fire, using things like flamethrowers. You'll be using your chainsaw for ammo. It's combat as a resource loop in this one, which I really like. The world design is also chunkier, more vertical, and yeah, it really, as it should, rewards aggressive gameplay. I still can't believe personally these run as well as they do on Switch, and look, sure there are compromises, but if you want raw action on the go, this is where to find it. My reviews are below. Killer Frequency is 70% off a new low price, and I really enjoyed this one. It's a narrative-driven game with light puzzle elements where you play as a late-night DJ who suddenly finds himself guiding townsfolk through a slasher-style murder spree. Your callers are basically being hunted by a killer, and you are their lifeline to give them instructions, make decisions, and solve puzzles on the fly to keep them alive. It was originally made for VR, and while that explains some of the interactions, I think it still works really well on Switch. The setting just has a great retro horror vibe, the voice acting is solid, and there's a nice mix of tension and humour throughout. It's definitely a bit unconventional, but that's why I liked it. It's a smart little thriller that's more about immersion and choices than fast reflexes. Check out my full review below. Ghostbusters, the video game Remastered, is 75% off, matching the low price, and this was a treat to revisit. I adored the original release. I think it's still one of the best video game movie adaptations ever made, or at least in my opinion. What makes it work though is the narrative. This isn't just a lazy retread of the films, it's a proper continuation. It's written by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, with all of the original cast returning to voice their characters. You'll be taking on the role though here as a new recruit, joining the Ghostbusters in 1991. And yeah, before you know it, you're knee-deep in slime, ghosts, and proton pack chaos across Manhattan. The gameplay, it's a mix of third-person shooter and ghost-catching mechanics, and it really nails the feeling of wrangling specters with the Ghostbusters. So yeah, just a satisfying rhythm to the battles. The dialogue's really well done, it's very sharp, and the world is packed with fan service. Seeing this game get a second life on Switch was fantastic. I'd actually really love to see a follow-up. Zombie Army 4 Dead War is 80% off, matching the low price, and if you're looking to blast zombies this week, this is the one. It comes from the makers of Sniper Elite, and it's this ridiculous over-the-top shooter where you and up to 3 friends fight off endless undead waves in World War II. It's all very pulpy, undead enemies, occult rituals, exploding corpses, but the core gameplay is what makes it click. The long-range sniping feels as satisfying here as it does in Sniper Elite, slow-mo kill cams, precise mechanics. That said, my one complaint with it is it leans more on close quarters combat than its cousin series, and that's always been a bit of a weak spot. It feels a little looser when things get manic. Still, I think it's hard to resist carnage when you're mowing through a sea of undead with upgraded gear and traps going off everywhere. Broforce is 87% off a new low price, and if you grew up on 80s and 90s action movies, this one's for you. It's a side-scrolling run-and-gun platformer that doesn't take itself seriously at all for even a second, and you'll play as a rotating cast of bros, each parodying a classic action hero. Think Rambo, RoboCop, The Terminator, Neo, and more. And each has their own unique weapon and special abilities. The gameplay is all really about destruction, blowing up terrain, causing chain reactions, just simply trying to survive as the world around you crumbles. There is local co-op as well, tons of replay value, and yeah, loads of little surprises. Definitely hits one note, admittedly. After a few hours, the novelty can wear off a bit, but as a pick up and play blast of carnage, great fun, one I return to every so often. Mega Man 11 is 67% off, matching the low price, and honestly, Capcom nailed this one. Mega Man's long overdue for a proper return, and while this entry doesn't reinvent the formula, it modernizes it just enough to feel fresh. You've got the classic 8 robot masters, the run-and-gun platforming, and the tight level design the series is known for. But now, with the new double gear system that lets you slow down time or boost your attacks temporarily, it adds just enough to shake up the formula without compromising what makes this series loved. I've been a Mega Man fan since the early days, and this one is a quality entry. Plays great, looks great, and yeah, it's just a reminder that sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel, just polish it. And this game, again, where is the next entry? We need a sequel. Tales of Symphonia Remastered is 75% off, matching the low price, and this one's a bit of a personal favourite. Originally released on the GameCube, it's one of the most beloved entries in the Tales series, and while I will say this remaster could have done more, I'm still glad it exists. You follow Lloyd and his group of friends as they uncover the truth behind a world on the brink of ruin. It's basically a globe-trotting adventure filled with political intrigue, personal sacrifice, and, of course, giant swords. It's got that classic though Tales mix of action, combat, skits, and heartfelt character moments. That said though, do be warned, technically it's not perfect. Long load times, a few technical hiccups, and it definitely shows its age generally in places. But for fans of the original, like me, or anyone wanting to see where the series really kind of started to find its footing, I think this is still well worth playing. Vernal Edge is 55% off a new low price, and this is a gem of an indie game that more people should know about. It's a 2D action platformer with a real sense of exploration and movement freedom. You're basically hopping between floating islands on your airship, uncovering the secrets of a broken kingdom. Now you play as Vernal, a fierce martial artist on a quest to confront her estranged father, and that story blends mystery, revenge, and personal growth without ever getting too heavy-handed. What really stands out though is the visual design, gorgeous pixel art, vibrant colour palettes, and really nice animations that bring everything to life. The combat as well, incredibly fast. Think air juggling, dashing, spellcasting. It's a rhythm that feels more like a character action game than your typical Metroidvania. You can even do things like chain together combos in mid-air, launch enemies, and yeah, you really feel in control. So yeah, with this one, I was honestly surprised by how polished it felt. The world design, the movement, the challenge, everything here just clicks beautifully. And I think this one flew under the radar for many, but it deserves your attention. Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons is 65% off a new low price, and I'll admit I was skeptical going in. The roguelike structure had me worried it messed with the classic kind of beat 'em up formula, but thankfully it doesn't. Instead, it adds some smart twists. You can choose your missions in any order, you can earn cash to unlock upgrades, and you can tag in a second fighter on the fly for mid-combat, like encounters. The art style is vibrant, the controls are tight, and the roster of characters is, well, it's pretty sizable. It keeps things fresh. This one, though, it's set in a post-apocalyptic New York, so it's that familiar backdrop, but the enemy variety, the boss fights definitely give it its own unique personality. I actually think it's one of the better Double Dragon revivals in years, and it's definitely a solid co-op pick too. Portal Companion Collection is 75% off, matching the low price, and it's really hard to overstate how good these games are. Portal 1 and 2 are included here, fully intact, fully portable, and still some of the smartest, most well-written puzzle games ever made. You're navigating those test chambers using the portal gun, so you're creating portals to solve like physics-based puzzles. Gradually you uncover a sci-fi mystery. The writing here is razor sharp, the pacing is perfect, and yeah, your enemy here still one of gaming's best. Portal 2 even adds co-op with completely different puzzles. So yeah, not a lot else to add here. It's top tier stuff, and this port, a fantastic way to revisit or even experience it for the first time. 1980X is 40% off and new low price, and this is a bit of a special one. It's only about 90 minutes long, and it was originally intended as the first episode in a longer series that sadly seems to have stalled. Well, we've not seen a follow-up basically. But what's here is beautifully crafted. It's a tribute to 80s arcades and just the games that were contained there. You'll play through 5 different game types, from beat-em-ups to shmups to racers, each though interwoven with a coming-of-age narrative about escape and self-discovery. The visuals are stunning, the music is incredible, and yeah, it really landed with me. I just again wish there was more of it. Even though, that said, I think it is worth it if you're after something different and atmospheric. It's also in 5 years since release, only the second time the game's ever been on sale. Our winner of the week then for the $10 eShop gift card is on screen right now. Congrats on the win. Email me for the code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next Thursday's video. Circuit Superstars is 55% off and new low price, and if you're into racing games but haven't played this, you're missing out. It's a top-down racer with surprisingly deep mechanics. You're dealing with realistic braking, tyre wear, pit strategy. It's kind of like a sim game disguised as a cute arcade racer, and it works. Controls are sharp, there's a strong focus on clean lines and consistent racing, and it really rewards that skill over time. Now, of course, there's no story here, it's all about the driving, but the variety of cars and tracks, plus the time trials and online options, it gives it a ton of replayability. And this one, unusually, was actually originally published by Square Enix, but yeah, it flew under the radar, and honestly, I think it's one of the best racing indies on the system. And that is the video down. What will you be adding to the library this week? Let me know in the comments. Anything I should be checking out? Let me know that too. With that then, subscribe for daily Switch content. It helps out a huge amount, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers all.